My not live.
What's up, world? This is your boy, Coach EB, aka the Geeker, and welcome to another edition of Talking Hoops in the SIP. That's right. Talking Hoops in the SIP. Man, we got a lot of stuff going on today, but before we get going, we want to say, give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Tatum and Wade Law Firm, located at 124 East Meade Street, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Tatum and Lawyer are serious lawyers who get serious results. I say if you want to get paid, you need to go to Tatum and Wade. Man, I'm telling you, I'm excited today about today's show. Man, let me introduce our guest today from Tupelo. We'll be talking about some things that's happening, some great events that happened in Tupelo today. One of the top young AAU coaches in the state. Please welcome to the show, CJ French. What's up, CJ?
Hey, V, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, buddy?
Hey, not much. You doing all right tonight?
Doing great. Also, another one of the, even a younger guy who's one of the top AAU coaches and down on the coast, runs a program, part of the All In family, the Community Saved Girls Director, Gabe Barber. What's up, Gabe?
What's up, EV? What's up, guys?
Chilling. And then from another part of All In, been running the very successful DC Bucks organization. Let's welcome to the show, Cordarius Jones. What up, Cord?
What up, Coach? The Geeker.
Hey, listen, we got a lot of, first week of basketball started, and it was a lot of stuff going on, and it was a very interesting week. So we're gonna get right into it and just talk about some things, who played well and who didn't, and I mean we get right into it. Let's go into. I know that it's been a lot of anticipation. Last time we came on, we talked about. First of all, can you guys hear me? Good. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you A1.
Okay,
yes,
cool. Y'all hear me good. Last time we talked about team rankings. I know one of our Twitter spaces, and I know that girls and boys. I know from our perspective, we had Tupelo. Tupelo is the team to beat, and I saw that they opened up with a commanding victory. I thought it was kind of surprising that they beat South Haven. I saw 66-17. And I don't know if that was a part of the Hound Dog event that I wanted to bring CJ French on to talk about. CJ, talk to us about the Hound Dog event, Tupelo, and if I'm calling by the wrong name, just correct me, and talk to us from what went on there, all the teams that played, and what you saw that day.
Yes, sir. So just kind of starting with I saw South Pontotoc play. They played really, really good. Just a fundamentally sound team. I think they won big, if my memory serves me correctly. Have a young kid that's actually, I think, an 8th grader. Her name is Kobe, had about 10 to 12 points. Really, really solid player, very fundamentally sound. But anytime you have a Bill Russell team, that's exactly what you're going to get, is a fundamentally sound team. Also was able to see Boonville play Coahoma County. It was kind of like the South Haven Tupelo game. It was a blowout. One of the interesting things that I saw was Sanaya Cook. She had a really, really good game. She looks very, very comfortable in the new system and the new colors of Boonville. I really, really like the way they played around her. They have nothing but shooters surrounded by her. They will be tough to beat in 3A girls basketball again this year. Adding a piece like that could just dominate on this.
Let me ask you this, CJ. I don't mean to cut you off.
Yes,
Move on.
No.
Who else? Who are some of the kids on Sanaya Cooks? Who else are some of the guards or anybody? Do you remember that we need? Is Kaylee and Kylie Johnson go to Boonville?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Kaylee was She was 21. She played a lot, shot the ball very, very well. Kylie tore her ACL, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, the 25 Johnson is actually out right now because she tore her ACL in the summer. But they looked really, really good. They have shooters surrounding her. What I've seen from her growth from this summer is she finished very, very well with contact. That was a big thing. They get up and down the floor. Miss or make, the ball is going to be down the floor before you can turn around and kind of get yourself situated defensively. So they did a really good job. Wasn't very close. Did pressured a lot, but it looks like everything kind of is starting with Cook. They work inside out, so they do a really good job of that. Coach Smith, one of the best in the business for sure when it comes to that. Also, Saltillo played Independence, and Independence won that game. They have a little guard. I'm not for sure of her name. I kept trying to find it out. She was number 5 for Independence. But
Nakia Walker.
Oh my goodness, that young lady can get up and down the floor as fast as anybody, and they couldn't stay in front of her. I think that was the difference in the game. Had they been able, you got, EV?
What year is she?
She's a 2024. Nakia Walker, 2024. She had a stint with us a couple years ago on that team with Aaliyah Converse and everybody. She didn't play much, but she was a really, really good player.
How tall is she, CJ?
You asked me, I'm gonna say she's about 5'9", 5'10". Would that be about right for it? Would you think?
Yeah, she's pretty long.
Man, she's a long guard. That's fast.
Point guard?
Fast. Like a 2-3 range. She do it all for them though.
For them, she did everything. Yeah, she pretty much did everything. She was a catalyst for them for sure.
And so she was the key to the victory for the Independence team.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
so
Saltillo did have 2 or 3
Saltillo,
key starters out.
Can she shoot it?
She can shoot it. I mean, it was one of those things that she shot a couple, had a nice looking shot, but if you can't stop me from getting to the goal, she just continued just to get downhill anytime she wanted to. Shot a couple, but not very many. Just getting downhill, just beating them.
How did Jasmine Steinman look on her with her first game with Saltillo?
I would say you could definitely see it was her first game. I think the chemistry is still a work in progress. Trying to fill out and be a new teammate, it can be a difficult thing. So for me, I think she wasn't as aggressive as I normally see her. It was kind of like, am I the point guard? Am I not the point guard situation? And I give Independence their credit. They ran like a 1-2-2 press. So it was more of give and go a lot, but I just didn't see that assertiveness that I expect midway or further down. Once they build that chemistry with that team, I think she'll be way more assertive than she was.
How did Breasia Sanders play with Saltillo? Do you remember? Or is she playing she's playing varsity?
Yes, sir. She did a good job. Like I said, I think Independence kind of control the tempo and they kind of control the way the game was played. So it was she was actually one of them that was out. Sanders didn't play that game. She was out. And I think she made a difference because I've seen how tough she can be defensively. She can knock down an open shot, do it really, really well. So she was one of the 2 that didn't play. And I think you could tell the difference. I think they lost by about 10. So, getting a caliber player like that, I think would have made a big difference. And she would have been able to guard the guard from Independence too. I would have loved to have watched that matchup.
One thing about Independence, they got a winning tradition there. Coach Martin is a great coach in the North. He don't get a lot of credit I think he deserved. He's been doing this for a long time. He actually was the boys coach at Independence when I was in school, coached against me many, many battles. Then he actually took the team with Juicy. They play at Kahoma now, Kahoma Community College. They went to the championship game. I think they played against Choctaw Central, I think. and lost in the championship game a couple of years ago. Independence is always really good, gonna be scrappy, play hard. You know, that they always gonna give a good showing every year. So, you know, that's
You could definitely
I
tell.
expect that from them. Well
Yeah, you
coached
could
team.
definitely tell he is very well. He has a system, and they're bought into what he's selling for sure.
Real quick, I want to jump in and just invite all my chatters, live chatters, please jump in on the live chat. I want to say what's up to Kamani, Ratliff, ABC Broadcasting, my guy Roof, Dog in the building. Appreciate you guys jumping on. If you have any questions or you have any comments about anything that we're talking about tonight, please feel free to jump on. And so just wanted to say hello to my live chatters. Thank you guys for jumping in. But go ahead, CJ, who else did we have?
Yeah, the last game, girls wise, was the South Haven and the Tupelo game, and I was listening. I think a couple of weeks ago when you guys were doing the ratings, the rankings, and everything. And I know Cord, had a couple of good things that he said about, will they be willing to buy in, and you can have a different leading score every night, and that's what we saw. I can tell you, Jay Rooker and Michaela Riley put on the show to where absolutely, if you saw that game, one of the things you'll say, yeah, they're going to be very hard to beat. Now, I also saw them in a Jamboree play, and it was just like, yeah, I probably wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket. So it just depends on what team you get. But against South Haven, they are a nightmare matchup. They have 5 guards that can play. When you got Jay Rooker at the 5 who handles the ball and shot the 3 ball very well, and Michaela Riley come across half court, launching it, couldn't miss. And the biggest MVP for me, it was 2 players, and that was Nadia Norfleet and that was Audrey Houston. Neither one of them put up more than 6 to 8 points, but they facilitated and they took care of the team. One of the things we talk about that they're absolutely going to have to be able to do in order to beat a Germantown is understand that, hey, maybe tonight is not my night to score 20 or 30 points. And those two guards were really, really good facilitating and making the extra pass for the team to be able to perform the way they did. So, man, my hat's off to those guards, especially when you're used to being a scoring guard and being able to step back and say, hey, I'll do whatever it takes for this team to win. Those 2 guards absolutely did that.
That sounds good. I want to say this about Audrey Houston. That is a thing looking at, when I was an assistant at Mississippi Valley on the women's side, we offered Audrey based on her potential. She's really a scoring guard. And for you to say that, I think at the next level, that's what she's going to have to do. Be more of a facilitator who can score. You still won't.
Absolutely.
If they can score, she has a scoring mentality. She's really good. But if she learns the game, that's going to only take her further. Really like her game. Love Nadia Norfleet. I think she's one of the top young guards in the state. She continues to get better. Everybody knows the summer and the spring and summer Jay Rucker had, getting all the offers and all those different things. And Michaela Riley coming off the injury, I think coming back this year, maybe almost close to being fully healthy. Having something to prove. I think she's a 5'10" bully forward who can do it all. I think she can shoot the 3 ball. She can put it on the floor, get to the basket. And I think that you're right. When Tupelo is hitting on all cylinders, because I was very surprised that they beat South Haven that bad. South Haven, to me, has 3 college level players in Merciana, Big Merc Sanders, Layana Silas, and Anaria Lee. I think all those kids can play college basketball. So when you have 3 kids on your team that can play college basketball, to be honest with you, you only score 17 points and give up 66. Something went wrong that night. It's because you have the size. I was kind of surprised that Court. CJ, and then I want Court to talk about that because Court, those are his girls. So over at South Haven, so he's gonna have to explain some. But see that night, and then Court, I want you to just respond to what CJ said. What did you see that night about those young ladies? Why do you think that they didn't score over 17 points? Was Tupelo's deep? Tupelo's not like we never talked about Tupelo being a great defensive team, and maybe that's something we have underrated or undervalued them on. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, is it should we start to take more note of that? Or why did they? I mean, they held South Haven to 17 points. What's your thoughts?
Man, I'll tell you this. They have a potential to be a top 3 defensive team in the state because they're so long, and they add that with a lot of quickness from their guard perspective. It's kind of that, what's the mentality? What's the mindset of the night for them? But their length just really, really made it hard. Lee, she's a great guard that can absolutely shoot it. It was hard for her to get shots up with having length on her, where you got Jay Rooker on her sometimes. Michaela was guarding Sanderford some and just fronting her. They just made it really, really hard, and they got underneath them, and it made it tough for them. They pressed them. They went half-court man. Anything they wanted to do, they were able to do, and it just made it very, very tough. And they brought in the second squad of 5, and every last one of them were just quick, just getting after it. Like they can come at you at waves, like, and they do a really good job of rebounding collectively. Losing Lamera really hurts from a rebounding standpoint, but what they did is they rebounded collectively, but they just made it really hard for entry passes to Sanford because she really maybe hit the first 6 to 8 points. And then they started to front her and started to make it really hard for them to enter the ball inside. But yeah, Tupelo has it's something you should definitely take notice of. I think when they don't allow their offensive struggle sometimes to dictate how they play defense, that's a championship team.
You said something, CJ. Ooh, that's a great point. Because I think they got the dogs, they got the athleticism enough to be great on defense. Like, there's no way they deep enough to. You should be going out there playing. What, Evie, 3 minutes really, really hard and be looking to get subbed out because you play so hard to get you a breather. I don't think folks understand that because at the college level, that's some real key stuff to play in their spurts where you playing hard. Not where you coasting, because you ain't really going to be able to coast because you're not going to be the best player on the floor all the time. So, but, man, it's really surprising. That South Haven, it'll produce a lot of great kids that go on to be great college players. I just wish they'll figure it out and stop hanging their head on, whatever going on, they just push themselves. You're talking about a 6'4" kid, 6'1", 6'2 and a half at Leanna Silas, Big Merc 6'4". Anaria Lee been playing basketball since she, the girl got something about her. I don't know really a lot. I know they got a couple young players that's coming up the ranks, but it's disappointing that, they just dropped the egg like that. But hopefully it's motivation to them. Them 3 girls right there, it's their senior year. They got to go a little harder. They got to take accountability of, not being a laughing stock. You're a 6A school. You're not playing against, you're not a 2A playing against 6. You're a 6A school. You played against another 6A school. You got to kind of put some heart out there. You got to make it more competitive than scoring 17 points, getting beat by almost 40 points. So.
CJ, talk to me about, we've all said that Tupelo, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about Germantown. I did see Germantown play, and I want to talk about them. Talk to me about Tupelo's second 5. Who were they comprised of, and who played well, and so on.
Man, so for their second 5, you got Sanala Smith. She's an absolute dog. She's a full court press by herself. She can set the tone. Her energy is what really, really gets that second unit going, I feel like. You got Janae McAllister, who can absolutely play basketball, starting to hit that mid-range at a high level. Did a really good job. Mania Kersey, actually coaching her this summer and seeing her confidence kind of go up during watching that first game. And, it was impressive to see how she got after defensively. And, in the past where she might not take a shot, she's starting to, kind of assert herself offensively. Bailey is another kid. I think she's a kid that plays soccer as well. You can absolutely tell. She's very, very quick. She can shoot the basketball. But more than anything, that second crew, along with their senior Nisha, she's about 5'8", 5'9", but just is an enforcer. She's that, what we would call Draymond Green, get after it, that utility player that'll do anything it takes for that team to win. And I think she's going to be a big, big piece. I think she's going to be one of them when you see Germantown and Tupelo, they'll throw her at. I think I can see them throwing her at Booker once or twice. And I know we didn't talk about Peyton Hervey, who started, but man, just a kid that picked up so much steam this summer with the offer she had. Man, she just continues to just play hard and be that team first person. And man, just her energy, her passion, it kind of builds onto the team, and that team is loaded. Like, and I can say
the senior, that you said long. What's her name?
Her name is Nisha. I can't remember her last name, but she's a really good player that transferred in. Last year, I think she came from Nashville, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the kid. That's the kid. I hollered you about the kid. Easy. That's the kid. We might misspell the name, but yeah, that's my bad.
What?
She's about 5'9", 5'10".
What's her last name? Mick something. Mick. I got it on the tip of my tongue, but we'll figure it out by the end of the day.
Yeah,
Is she 2023?
Yeah, 2023.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Mania Kursky's 2024, right?
2024. Her and Sanala Smith and Bailey.
And who?
Now, who is the Bailey kid, CJ? Not for me.
The Bailey kid, I can't remember her last name. She actually is a heck of a soccer player. But man, she plays well. She can handle the basketball. Her and Sanala Smith are pretty identical in the type of game they have. She shoots. I mean, they're both just super quick. She shoots the ball really well from the outside. But man, just you put those two guards at the top of the press, which is what they did, and it just made it really, really tough. Made it really tough for South Haven even to get anything with the second unit out there.
Okay. Well, let me just jump in and talk about real quick, and we're going to shoot to Gabe to go talk a little bit about the coast. But let's pull up my notes. Germantown, I saw them play in I saw them play in the Jamboree. And I want to talk about a few kids because we already know about the two main kids on Germantown. And I want to make this clear. I predicted Germantown to hoist the gold ball this year. I thought this was going to be Madison Booker's year. And I think that now I did make that statement before I found out that Charlie Gambrini is out for the year with an ACL, and that definitely hurts them. But I will say this: Germantown has a really good team, and we'll talk about the two biggies at the end. 2024 Reagan Jordan running the point guard spot. When Booker doesn't bring it up, really solid. Knows how to play. You can tell she's played a lot of basketball. Has a nice floater in her game. She's going to be one that takes a little pressure off Booker if somebody decides to play Booker 94 feet and make her work or just double team her. Reagan Jordan can more than easily handle the basketball to run that. Another girl that was really impressive for me that I saw play, I can't pronounce her name properly. She's a 2024 kid, 5'7", Micaiah Sack. She can hit the wide open three. She can knock that down. And it's another athletic kid. I don't know her number that they had that she played well. I heard in the Vicksburg game. They went on the road to Vicksburg and beat them. I think 15 plus points. It might have been 20 points. And then the coach's daughter, Julia Glasgow, is a young lady who can knock down open threes. I heard that she had 3 threes in the last game with 9 points, 4 rebounds against 58-46 win against Brandon. And the two big stars, Alana Rouser is just what I thought she's what she's done, since the 8th grade. She's a double machine. Against Vicksburg, she had 13 points and 24 rebounds. She's just a dog on the glass. That's why she's got, the offers, the low to mid-major offers that she has gotten, well deserved. I believe that's her level. I think that's her best level. Can she play at Mississippi State or Ole Miss? Yeah, but where is she going to be? For me, what is her best level where she can go and probably be an impact player as a freshman or get some minutes as a freshman? I think is that Southern Miss. I see she picked up Florida International I'm hearing Memphis maybe offering her as well. I know she was down at Memphis. I think that is where she can flourish. What she is she's a 4-man right at 6 feet. You can tell her shoulders have gotten bigger. She just got more athletic. She's just a beast on the board. She's got to continue to work on her skill set. She can knock down some open 15-footers and knock down an open 3 every now and then. Even though I didn't see her do that in the 2 games I saw her play, but I know that's been reported she can do. But she's just a better Alana Rouser in the sense of what she does. Great, she does it still really, really good. She finishes around the rim with each hand. And then Madison Booker, y'all know how I feel about Madison, so I'm not going to go too long. She just does, what does she do? Whatever she wants to do. As she begins, if Germantown, and this is just my opinion, and so they can say it, Madison Booker, just like I said, by far the best player in the state, one of the top in the country. Skill-wise, love her. There's nothing that I don't like about her game. If Germantown would post Madison Booker up 10 times a game, just 10, nobody would come close to beating her. And coupled with the other stuff she does, if they would post her up 10 times a game, it would be tough to beat them, because that would be 10 surefire baskets, either from the drop step, either from just shooting right over you, or either from kicking it out. Now then they have to make shots, because that's the only thing. If I've seen a weakness in Germantown, if you say, Evie, what's their weakness? The weakness for me is they don't post up Booker enough, and whereas she can be that Kevin Durant on the block, Carmelo getting those baskets on the block. Other than that,
hey man, listen
up.
Hey
man, you came on late. You just got through feeding in the jungle. Like, don't jump on a man like you ain't got nothing to say, man. Just be quiet and wait your turn.
I am not finna allow Gabe. You better come off mute, chorus, Mr. French. Man, I know y'all are not gonna sit up here and listen to this clown say that if Madison Booker posts up 10 times a game, ain't nobody gonna come close to beating Germantown. Are you? What you drink? What you drinking? It can't
Eddie,
be water.
I just watched the play.
She should.
Let me ask you this.
Do it because you're gonna kill it that spot.
Hold on, Eddie. Court. First of all, hold on. Let me ask all of you guys this question. First of all, CJ, let's ask you, because I know with Eddie and Court. Have you ever seen Germantown and Madison Booker play, CJ?
Absolutely, multiple times.
All right, cool. Gabe, have you ever seen Madison Booker play for Germantown?
Yes.
All right, now, here's the question for all of you guys. Have you ever seen her post up in a game more than 10 times in a game? Yes or no?
No.
Gabe? Eddie?
No.
Eddie?
Hey, hold on. What we not finna do, we are not finna be deflectors and go to this bull crap that he tries to do.
Let's ask the question. Have you seen her post up more than 10 times in a game?
No, we ain't gonna go down that rabbit trail. What he's trying to do, he's gonna ask you 3 buy-in questions that we all know the answer to. And then what he's gonna try to do is try to get you to say yes, 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 to make it like he's winning the argument. I'm going back to what you said. You said if Madison Booker posts up 10 times, ain't nobody else in the state gonna be close to Germantown. I don't disagree that if Madison Booker posts up, they're most definitely a better team. They're more. I mean, I think that's, to me, when she can work inside out, it just makes the whole everybody else game around her better. But to say that they're just gonna blow everybody out and it ain't gonna be close, that's what I don't. That's what I disagree with you on.
Blowout. I don't think I used the word blowout.
You said it ain't gonna be close. Blowout, CJ. Blowout ain't gonna be close. That's still the same thing, right?
Same thing.
Hey, let's ask CJ, Evie. Let's go ahead and ask the hard questions, Evie. Let's go ahead. Can we talk basketball? We don't have no dog in the hunt. CJ, and I know these these high school coaches, we not there yet. We got 1,000 games to play. But listen, Germantown and Tupelo play. What is some things that you think Germantown favor over Tupelo and vice versa? Like How you think that match up? I mean, let's just talk ahead. Because you're the expert over there in the Northeast.
Well, where I would say Germantown it maybe favors them is just I think the biggest thing is with Rouser, not so much with Booker. We know what she's gonna give you, but with Rouser, she's so relentless on the boards, and not having Lamera, who is that enforcer on the boards with the height, is the one struggle I think they could have if that night they're not collectively hitting the boards together. That's where I could see the struggle. But where Germantown could run into an issue is what they're going to do. They're going to zone Tupelo for sure. Tupelo has 5 guards. If Jay Rooker continues to work on her game like I've seen, and she's extending that 3-point out the way she has as of late, and in the summer, Nadia hits a consistent shot. Houston hit. Michaela does what she did. If you're going to give her that room, it could get out of hand because what I saw.
Wow.
What I did see is that at times, I'm not saying she stopped her. I think I respect both players, number one. But what Jay Rooker did defensively with Madison Booker, she made her work for her points. And that was a tough thing. And we changed matchups. You know, I don't necessarily think we made the right change, but that's neither here nor there. But what I do say is there's going to be a struggle because Tupelo's going to come out and play man. I question the supporting cast for Germantown outside of Elena Rouser. I was not very impressed the multiple times I've seen them play. And I don't think it's an issue of can Madison go down and dominate in the post. I think it's a personnel issue. They don't have anybody that can enter it into her because they just start harassing your other guards and you're not they're going the other way. They're absolutely going the other way.
I can agree.
They struggle from a guard standpoint.
Right. I can agree with that, CJ. Kamani Ratliff put on live chat that they tried to post Booker up at Vicksburg and they had trouble with the entry pass. One thing I will say at every level, this is at besides the pro and even some, I don't know too many good post passers, period. Because that is something that has been a problem for years. I've seen that on the boys' side. I've seen that on the girls' side. So post passing could be an issue.
And Evie, I want to say this. I watched Mississippi State practice like a couple weeks ago. They worked on
We got core froze up. Hey, can I go back to CJ real quick? Because I respectfully disagree with CJ. I know that a lot of people think that Germantown is a two girl band. But I'm gonna tell you, they actually got a better supporting cast than what you think. I know, like there's a couple of kids, CJ, that you may not have seen because they've had injuries and certain other things. Some kids playing multiple sports and some other stuff. But Julie Glasgow, which I know Evie just saw, Coach Glasgow's daughter, she is a sophomore that can really play. She contributed a lot last year. Of course, the big injury to Charlie Gambarine, which is one of the best shooters, and her class is hurtful. But they got the Branson kid who can play, and Reagan Jordan, if she's healthy and she can be the player that we know she can be, along with the senior Sydney Wilder. They've got some pieces that they don't have the depth that Tupelo has in terms of the experience and things like that. But those girls that they have around them this year, they're deep. They're not as deep as Tupelo, but they're pretty deep. Wouldn't you agree, Evie?
Yeah, that's why I told them about Micaiah Satchett. She's really good, about 5'7".
That's
5'8".
right. That's right. She can play.
I couldn't think of that girl's name. That's what you was talking about. I told about the athletic. I think it was Wilder. The challenge, CJ, you said something. There's not anybody in the state. I want to make this clear. And I know one person in particular is not going to agree with this. I'm not going to call his name. But there's not anybody in the state that can guard Madison Booker one-on-one. It's impossible. They have to, she demands the double team. You have to double her. There's not one kid, if she can get anywhere she wants to on the floor. And I'll be honest with you, when she plays against taller people, that's where she really flourishes, because now she doesn't have to be as tight, because her handle's already she got the thing on the string. But when she's going against a taller person, it kind of levels the playing field. When you go against a smaller person and you handle it, Now you got to keep the ball handle a little tight. You may have to turn to the side. You got to get lower. But when you're a taller person against that, I've seen her really, really do some damage against that one-on-one. Now, the question is going to be, here's what you're going to have with Booker. There's no question about this. She's going to take what I call, I'm not going to even say they're bad shots. She's going to take a lot of tough shots where she's going to yah you. She's going to get you between the legs. She's going to have that thing. She's going to have you shaking. And then she's going to give you one little move. You're going to step back and she's going to boom. She's going to step back and shoot that three. She's going to settle for that versus go around you every single time. You got to have help. If you don't have two people on her, that's going to be what you're going to hope for, CJ, is that she's just off that night. And that is possible because she was, I was told she was 0 for 8 in the first half the other day against Vicksburg and then ended up being 4 for 7 in the second. So, and then, again, they ended up beating Vicksburg. But go ahead, CJ. I know you're itching to say something there.
I totally respect, definitely you and Eddie, from the standpoint, and you're right. She'll take some of those tough shots. She's earned that. She's put in the work to take those tough shots. But I'm telling you from an eye test, watching them play Tupelo and Germantown in Tupelo to go to the Coliseum, watching that game, it was actually, I'm not sure of the young lady. And I think maybe she was a senior because I think she signed JUCO, but she got a lot of the putback buckets from some Madison Booker misses.
Oh, the
and
girl
I think
is going to Northwest.
Yes, I think that'll be Elena
Northwest
Rouser.
right now.
I think that'll be Elena Rouser. But other than that, Charlie, I love her game. I think she's really good. But if she's not hitting that night, she isn't very good to you with the athletes that Tupelo will bring at her, forcing her to be able to handle the ball. And some of the other ones, I thought they struggled. The moment they took Booker out for a break was the moment they had to bring her right back in because they struggled to handle any pressure. Like they just didn't, it wasn't very good. No motion, no consistency. They really just struggle. And so in a regular game, I absolutely agree with you. I think they have really good girls. But on that stage, if they're going to be put on again against that game with a crowd like they had at Tupelo, they have two people. And that's where your best have to show up. They had two people.
I agree with you. Didn't Madison Booker have 30-something against Tupelo last year? Because I watched the film. It looked like she put on a show in the second half. Like wasn't that last year? Or am I tripping? I know it was 20 plus.
No, it
CJ
it was, yeah, she had 20 plus for sure. Yeah, absolutely. She had 20 plus. I think you saw a Tupelo team that also kind of struggled with chemistry all year long. And I think they really decided that was the game that changed their trajectory for this year. Not for last year, but for this year. That's when the mentality changed. And I think you'll be able to see that this year. It's fair or unfair. I don't think you can just base it off of that game. I think what you're going to get out of Tupelo this year is going to be a direct reflection of what they faced and what they were excited to see with having a crowd to come to a game like that. They're like, hey, that's what we want to get back to. And I'm not a Tupelo advocate by any stretch of the imagination. But eye test wise, I think they're going to be very tough to beat. I like Madison Booker, respect her. I think she's going to do a great job. She is a WNBA player for sure. But I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm all about the team ball, and I think it always wins out.
I got you. Yeah, you're right. I appreciate you, CJ. Anybody, let's jump over to Gabe, and we welcome in Talante Weber. I'm going to come back to you, CJ, because did you watch the boys game as well, CJ?
I saw half of halftime of the boys game.
Okay, so we'll come back to you on that, but I just want to welcome in and say hello to Talante Weber from Southern Sports Platform. What up, man?
I think it's Mike Newton.
Now you can't hear you. Well, we just said hello. Let's go to Gabe. We'll come back to you, Talante, while you fix your technical difficulty. Eddie, I don't know what you're doing. Oh, he's on mute.
Can y'all hear me now?
Now we can hear you. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, I was like, y'all talking about the Tupelo game last night?
The girls' game. We just talking about.
I missed that one. I didn't get that.
We're going to come back to you, Talante, and talk about the boys here shortly. Gabe, talk to us about Gulfport real quick. We had a big-time game, Gulfport playing. Gulfport, the Odell sisters, and Madison Odell put on a show with 34. They got a new coach down there. You're a former assistant coach with Coach Glass, whom we love at Gulfport. Talk to us about the new and improved Gulfport Admirals, and are they worthy to be in this conversation with Tupelo and Germantown?
Well, I definitely want to start off with saying they did get a new coach. Coach Price came from Laurel. He actually was a Laurel's boys coach. Pretty decent resume. I know he got a state championship under his belt there. And he's doing a phenomenal job with these girls right now, man. Just really seeing a lot of kids really kind of buy into the system, even off the floor. I think that's definitely one of those underrated, traits for any team is just how you bond off the floor. And I think that, they're doing a really good job of that. And really just watching them play, man, he lets them go. I could definitely start out by saying with Madison Odell, if you ain't sending a double or triple team at her, you might as well just say you win for one. She had, I want to say for the start of the game against D'Iberville, she started off with a 4-point play. I mean, off the jump, So if y'all not game planning to send 2 or 3 at her, then you better just hope she miss. And she ain't gonna miss two, 3 in a row, right? So Madison Odell is definitely one of the top scorers in the state. And I mean, she's looking to take your head off every trip down. Like she's one of the players that really she's not gonna hesitate to shoot it. Coach Price, he lets her go. So I'm definitely excited to see them. I can't say possibly. It's still early. I know Coach Price is still let him tell it. I'm sure there's still some things that he's trying to get through to him and still trying to clean up with him. I can see them making it deep in the playoffs. I'm not going to really put them up there in that conversation with the Germantown and Tupelo just yet. I think they need to kind of clean up a couple more pieces that they have. But overall, like I said, Madison Odell, she's definitely one of the best players in the state. I actually watched them play again yesterday against Petal. First game, of course, Madison, she did her thing. Micah came along yesterday's game against Petal. And she looked solid. Definitely a big guard. He has her playing every position possible. She looks a lot comfortable out there. Definitely, setting the tone, running the offense, making plays. I can't say with yesterday's game, Madison Odell finished with 15, and the 11 of those came in the first quarter. She went scoreless the second half. Petal game was kind of a little blowout, so they kind of took their foot off the gas. And Michael Odell also finished with 15 yesterday too. So I'm expecting to see big things out of those twins this year, man.
Besides the Odell sisters, who I know Jakar Coleman should be back here shortly. Who else are there any sleepers on Gulfport that we need to, keep our eyes on?
I definitely could say a sleeper would be another 2023 Sanaa Price. She didn't play any summer ball this year, but she played with me previously the year before. Another guard who's gritty, man. She's gonna get in you. She can shoot and get to the basket really, really well. She can she can create her own shot too, which is what is really good for them. Defensively, like I said, she's a go-getter. She plays extremely hard. That's a kid that'll mess around and give you, double digits if you don't pay close attention to her.
Hey, cool. Anybody on D'Iberville that stood out to you, like, oh man, she ain't bad, or
my 2023 point guard Kalia Storm plays for D'Iberville. Who
how did Kalia do?
She didn't do bad. She had a little trouble scoring. Kalia's more of a pass-first point guard. And I think in order for her team to be successful this year, she's going to have to take more of an initiative and more of a responsibility of putting the ball in the basket. She plays hard, though. I mean, she really is one of those kids where you're going to see in every play offensively or defensively, whether it's getting a hand in the passing lane or just controlling the tempo. I also got a 2024 over there, TL Wells, who was their second leading scorer there, who also is just another guard that plays extremely hard, can create her own shot, can get to the basket, can finish really, really well. And then they had a big, I don't know the big's name, I have to catch the big's name, but she had about 15 to 18 against Gulfport, who played pretty solid as well.
What year is she?
I want to say she's a senior.
Okay. Okay, good. So, anybody else on the coast that you heard had a good week in the opening week? Anybody else?
Hancock, they play Picayune, but I see Hancock making a pretty decent statement this year. Jenna Gerger just came off of an injury this past year. She's looking really good right now. Look like she's having some trouble, some nervousness just with her being back on the floor with her movement. But the skill is still there. She can still put the ball in the basket. She has a high IQ. They have a 2024 guard there, Brooklyn Cuevas, who can shoot lights out. And then one of my favorite players on that team is a 2025, Talena Bond. She's probably no taller than 5 feet even. And when I say your best player gonna have to run from her, like she gonna pick you up in the parking lot. She's definitely one of those, hard-nosed defenders that's always gonna be attached to the ball.
And she's at Hancock. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we'll just hold tight. We'll switch over. We're gonna get over and bring in. We got the legend just walked in, just came in. Edward Shoes Johnson. What up, Shoes?
What's
Mississippi.
Up? Hey, EV, y'all were talking about the girls. You all were just talking about girls. Did anyone talk about the fact that the Robinson girl started as a 7th grader for Madison yesterday?
We have not talked about that. Eddie Young mentioned that to me today.
I was at the game. She started at the point. She handled the ball the majority of the game. She did a great job handling the ball. She wasn't extremely aggressive trying to score. I think she only had 4 points, but both of those were on some really good moves where she shook somebody up and got into the paint and scored. She was more trying to play with the team. Being a 7th grader, she didn't want to try to do too much, but she was really playing with a lot of confidence. She really was strong with the ball. She belonged. As a 7th grader, she belonged out there. It was phenomenal to watch her. And they play a team.
Now, Shoes, that's the kid that play in our league, right? For the past couple of
lady is. I know her dad. I've been knowing her dad for years. I know who she is.
Yeah. Okay, yes, that's right. That's right. The daddy Alkanite. That's right. You definitely know the dad. But I just wanted anybody to talk about her because I got to observe her yesterday, and hey, man, it was really a sight to see her out there as a 7th grader handling that ball and being strong with it and playing with confidence. Like I say, she wasn't trying to score a lot. She only had 4, but she belonged. She could have easily been more aggressive. But she was really good yesterday. They failed. I think they failed to Starkville, but she played well. Madison played fairly well as a team. They just, fell a little short. I don't know what the final was. But to me, the whole observation point was her out there on the court, 7th grader starting, playing, same. And the thing about that too, what's impressive to me is that she's a 7th grader that's playing in 6A. You know what I mean? It's one thing to start, like, we had Macy Pfeiffer, who, started as a 7th grader. Me and Evie was just talking about earlier, Addie, that plays at PCS. PCS, she started as 7th grader in MAIS, man, but it's a whole nother level when you are 7th grader starting at a 6A program. So yeah, that's impressive. Yeah, that's impressive.
Started another state program. It's not like they eat her into the fire. The first game was against Starkville, who's a ranked team.
Yeah. Well, and I got a chance, the pleasure to see her not only Eddie's league, but I saw her in the Mississippi Louisiana All-Star game that we did with LGR, and she was really, really good. She's no question my rankings come out, I'm not going to do a 2028 rankings, which she is, but I will say this: out of the, I've seen, she's definitely, no question. If I were to do one, she would be in the top 3 in that class, along with Meg Moore. Those are, to me, the best 2028 kids I've seen personally. And so kudos to her, starting Coach Brown, giving her an opportunity. Most coaches wouldn't do that. And for her to do that, because I think there are some other kids that, well, it's not many. Let me put it like that. It's not many, but that's big time for her at Madison Central to go and be a starter as a 7th grader. There's not too many people can say that happened. I want to mention one other game on the girls' game, on the girls' side, before we go take it over to the boys' side. I know Holmes County had their classic, and it was a lot of good talent there. And I know Madison Booker and Germantown won 58-46 against Brandon. Were you at that game, Shoes? Did you see that game?
Yes, I was there. Yes, I was there.
Tell me your thoughts about, just quickly, what you about that.
Actually, the turning point in the game was really like late in the first quarter. Brandon, I don't know the young man, I'm not as versed on it. Brandon was a point guard.
Kennedy Davis, one of the top players in the state.
She got, I don't know if they were keeping out, she got a banged up. She didn't play again till late in the fourth quarter.
Right.
That was the turning point of the game.
I heard about that.
Yeah, that was the turning of the game. It was back, they were close game. When she went out, Germantown was able to pull out. And it was amazing because they finally let her play over in the fourth quarter, and they didn't run with her in the game. Because like over 20 per game when she came back in, 18 points of it, and they got back, reasonable score. And I never really pulled Madeline into those girls out of the game. They were keeping it in the rock and everything. So they, that was the big ones in the game. Madison was really good yesterday. She had balls. She made some jumpers, nice moves. She is Madison. Elena was solid down there. Coaches ought to hit some shots. They were solid around. And without Ken there, Brandon didn't have enough.
Right. I also heard that a young lady came off the bench, Lamia Daly. That was her. She just got cleared on Friday in the second quarter. She hit a couple threes to kind of help get Brandon, started that back in it, because I'd heard that Germantown was up like 19-3 and then 21-3 in the halftime, 25-20. So they came back. Also wanted to just mention, and then we'll move on after this, Clinton girls, they beat Canton 66-40. Dandy Does and Taylor Felton had 12 points, 7 assists, 4 steals, and a couple rebounds, along with Caitlin Walker, 12 points and 10 rebounds. Jatoy Johnson had 8 points. But the name that everybody was that's buzzing for Clinton is a girl named Lacey Curry. Lacey Curry had 12 points in that game. And so Clinton is saying,
Lacey Davis, Coach. Lacey Davis.
Lacey Davis. I said Lacey Curry because I'm thinking about somebody who cooks in. You kind of breaking up, Shoes.
I said, which one she? Which one is Lacey?
She's about, what is she, Eddie? About 5'9", athletic.
Well, she ain't quite 5'9", but you would have known that she high energy kid. She wears glasses. The kid that wears glasses.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
She was eye catcher. She was eye catcher during the game.
We got. Hey, you got to mention South Panola beat Center Hill. That was a good win for South Panola. Sanaya Fondren hit 26 and 14, 26.14 rebounds.
That was a huge win. That's exactly right.
69-44.
I'm going to shoot over to that. I want to ask you this, Shoes, and then we'll shoot to that game. Taylor Felton had 7 assists. I heard she's really running the show. When obviously we've all seen Taylor a lot. What's your thoughts on Taylor and how she played a little bit that she played?
she played really well. She held the ball. She didn't try to. She didn't take a lot of shots. She took a few. She had one. I remember hitting the 1-3, but a couple others were off. But she just kind of ran the show yesterday. That they did it with as a team yesterday, and she looked comfortable doing that. She didn't have to really, really overexert herself or try to go out and try to make anything extra happen. She just was, just good and solid yesterday. Played with her teammates, ran show, hit shots that came away, hit a couple shots that came away. Got out, got some steals and got on the open floor and scored. So she just had a good all around game, but not a super duper game.
Gotcha. Again, want to just jump in here, live chatters. Make sure that you have any questions or comments. If you had any special games that you wanted us to mention, please put it in the live chat. Corey, go ahead on the South Panola. That was to me a huge. I thought I was very surprised at that game because Center Hill has some players, really 3 or 4 college level players, and to get beat 69-44, I thought that was big. Well, I mean, Sanaya Fondren, Kamaya Griffin, others. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, Sanaya Fondren and Kamaya Griffin led the charge. I think both of them had Sanaya had 26 and 14. That's big time numbers against the Center Hill team that we was kind of picking, kind of be a dark horse team, probably like a top 20 team. You know what I'm saying? Something like that, top 15. So by them coming out and beating them like that, it just was so surprising. They play hard. They got some of the best athletes at every position, at South Panola. So they're gonna be one of the teams you got to watch. If they can keep that scoring up, 70 points a game almost, that's big. I don't know if they can keep that up, but they definitely gonna come at you tenacious. They ain't gonna care who they play against. You don't have to watch this South Panola team. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, this and that," by the backdoor conversations. But I'm telling you, that team is athletic enough to beat everybody. I know they got to work on a lot of their fundamentals and stuff like that. But guess what? At the end of the day, they're gonna have a fighting chance because they're just so athletic and long and big. Everybody can run all of them probably can run 100 meters in track in the race. So, I just really like their team and their athleticism. And playing against Center Hill, they got a Madison Bush, Dominique Collins, Madison Hughes. They got D1 offers. Madison Hughes got D1 offer. And several other really good kids. Taylor Ware. That's a good win for them.
I agree with you. That definitely was a good win. Anybody else up north before we shift, and then we'll come back if you think about anybody. Let's bring in Delonte Weber and Delonte, talk to us a little bit about what you've seen up north, and then Shoes will tell us about the teams over at Holmes County. Go ahead, Delonte.
Yesterday I got to check out the Tupelo game, Tupelo versus South Haven. That was a really good game. I know a lot of people do have Tupelo ranked number 1 in the state, and rightfully so. I do think they have the best. They have 3 of the best top 10 seniors in the state. Gavin Shannon had 25 and 10 yesterday. He looked really good. He was shooting the 3, getting dunks, getting a lot of assists. He looked like, if I had to pick, he looked like a top 3 guy. You know what I'm saying? He looked like the man last night. Then, of course, you got London Fields. He can really shoot it. He had 17. Then Davion Anderson, he had 17 as well. So Tupelo looked really good last night. Even the bench came in and played solid. South Haven, they didn't have a lot of guys that you know of, but they played really, really hard as well. They had some really tough, scrappy guards that really got after it because Tupelo was up by 10, 15. They cut it down. Tupelo won by 3 at the end. So South Haven would be a tough out for anybody as well. That's really all I seen this weekend in the north. But next weekend, of course, we got the Tip-Off Classic. So we'll have all the best teams from the north and, this side of Mississippi. So that's what I've seen on my end.
Give us the rundown of your schedule for, if you have it, on Saturday, November 5th, who will be playing, and highlight some of the players, because we want, if you're in the New Hope, Columbus, Mississippi area, you need to be at these games.
All right, so first to open up the day at 2 o'clock, everything gonna start at 2 o'clock. So if you have, you know what I'm saying, that Friday night wake up call, you know what I'm saying, you got plenty of time to get rest and head over to the tip off classic. So at 2 o'clock we have Pine Grove versus Amory to open it up. Then at 3:30 we have Columbus versus Holmes County. At 5 o'clock we have a big game to kick off the nightcap. MRA versus Starkville. So you have Josh Hubbard, who's the number one player in the 2023 class, the number one player in Mississippi, versus Makai Miles, the number two player in the 2023 class. So that's a big time matchup to kick off the season. Starkville versus MRA. Then at 6:30, we have New Hope, the 5A runner-up, versus the 6A runner-up, Olive Branch. That's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fast-paced game. Both teams like to play fast. You got Jay Tyler, who should be a Dandy Dozen, who should be named a Dandy Dozen in the coming weeks over at Olive Branch. New Hope have a great young core of guys who are going to come in. Matthew Stennis, he'll be leading the way for those guys. And they have a whole bunch of other guys that are sophomores and juniors that are going to be pretty good as well. Then at 8 o'clock to close the day off, we have Tupelo versus Hamilton Heights. Hamilton Heights Christian Academy, they bring about 3 or 4 Division I guys. Then you got Tupelo. We just talked about Tupelo. They have Gavin Shannon, London Fields, and Davion Anderson. So that's going to be a big-time matchup as well. So the whole day is going to be jam-packed with great matchups, great players. A lot of media will be there. So it's going to be a packed house, and it's going to be a great day of basketball.
Hey, Talante, can I ask you a question real quick?
What's up?
Listen, I know everybody defer to Shoes rankings for the state rankings, and I don't know the answer to this question, but the last time I looked at the national rankings, was Gavin Shannon not ranked higher than Josh Hubbard in the national rankings?
I don't think so. Nah, I doubt it.
Okay. I mean, I know everybody's got Josh as the consensus number one player in the state. I mean, it ain't no, to me, I wouldn't say it's not close, but I'm not sure on the national rankings. I could have sworn that.
Now you don't know what you're talking about, man. Be quiet. Just sit over there.
Hubbard now.
Hubbard like 60. I think Hubbard ranks 66 on ESPN. I think it's somewhere in that range. So he like national rank number 66 on ESPN. So ESPN pretty much outweigh everybody else. So if you ranked on ESPN top 100, you up there.
Shoes, I know I'm doped up on this medicine. I ain't feeling good. Am I tripping, or did I see Gavin Shannon on the national rankings higher than Josh Hubbard?
I haven't seen that one, EB. I haven't seen
That's
that.
Eddie. Don't confuse me with him.
Josh, not EB. Eddie, I haven't seen that, Eddie. I scoured the national rankings pretty good, try to keep up what's going on, stay in touch with people. I've not seen right now. Josh is pretty much the only guy in our senior class that's getting much national ranking love. National ranking love. I remember there was a ranking that had
I think that was Prep Hoops
somewhere. That was one somewhere that had Gavin in it, but I can't remember who it was. But they were like one of them offshoots. They were like one of them offshoot guys.
Okay, I got you. I just know I saw some and it was intriguing because I said, I know you guys had.
He wasn't one, like one of those offshoot guys, somebody coming in and doing some regional stuff and stuff like that.
I mean, let's be honest, Shoes. We got people doing that in state right now, but we ain't gonna talk about it. They ranking these teams and got these players ranked in teams. They don't have a damn clue what they're doing. But anyway, yeah, but no, I was just curious about that because I could have sworn I thought I saw him on the national ranking. So
yeah, hey, Delonte, let me give you a bit of news. Makai didn't play last night. He hurt his finger in practice a couple of days ago. I don't know if it was a dislocation or what, hyperextension or whatever. He didn't play last night. It was a whole week to go, so maybe he'll be ready next week. I'm not sure.
Hey, we're gonna knock on wood on that one.
Yeah, I know you need to knock on wood on that one, boy. But I just I'm gonna prepare you. I'm just telling you the truth. But they were good last night. They had them Madison. The kid Connor Rogers had a big game. I haven't checked the scorebook, but Connor had a big game. Their 3 senior guards. They had the Brooks kid transferring from Knox Beach County, and then they've got the what's the other kid's name that's been there forever? Can't think of his name
Baker.
right now. But they were all good. The three guards were really, really good last night for them. They were really good. So that was the key for them last night. And then they had a big kid that really did some damage inside.
He got the dreads.
No,
you talking about David. You talking about David.
I think it was David.
Yeah, David. Yeah, he gonna be good for them. He should be the X factor this
year.
He
gave them real insiders last night. Had 2 dunks, finished with dunks and everything. So to be a high ranked team without their best player, they handled their business last night. They just have just methodically kind of put Madison Central away last night. Jonathan Baker, that's the other guard I couldn't remember his name at the time. Baker, but Brooks, Baker, and Rogers were just really solid last night. They were really, really solid last night. Yeah.
And where did they play that game at, Shoes?
That was in Holmes County. That was in Holmes Community College. That was the nightcap. Starkville and Madison Central.
Anybody from? How did Mark Rose? How did is it Dylan, right?
Dylan he played well. He was solid. He's still figuring it out at this level. When to be aggressive and how to set guys up. He had some nice baskets. He handled the ball really well. He's got to continue to play and put it together. Playing with older guys and really figure out how to get his guys involved and get his buckets. But he was solid last night. Really, really solid. What's the other kid's name? The other little guard they got that was there last year, Archer. I think it's Archer. He was solid last night for them too, but they just didn't have enough for Madison. They didn't have enough for Starkville last night. They just really didn't have enough.
That's a big. How much did Starkville win by?
I want to say it was about 13 to 14. I'm not sure. I can find it right quick, but I'm not. Sure.
Well, my thought process was that 13 to 14 without Mekhi Miles. That's letting you know how good that they really are. And I can't call. I know Talante will tell me the new coach's name. My hat's off to him keeping Starkville at the level that the legend Greg Carter had them at. Has to be a big task. What's the coach's name?
Woody Howard.
Woody Howard. Coach Howard. My hat's off to you.
He took wasn't Knoxville County.
Kemper County.
The state tournament in his 1 year there before he left. He was assistant at Starkville, went to Kemper County, took them to the state tournament, and went back and took the job at Starkville. So he had been around the program for a while. Went out, got him head coaching, got him some experience, and came back.
That's awesome.
The final was 60-47. The final was 60. They won by 13.
Okay. Talk to us about a few more games. I think I heard Holmes did about the boys that at Holmes County Central. Like the Holmes County Central boys, didn't they play?
Yeah, they played Clinton. Holmes County Central played Clinton. That was the earlier game in the day, the 1 o'clock game. It was really a high level game for an early season game. They were getting up and down, playing above the rim. Clinton won kind of handily. Clinton, in a surprising development, Clinton won. What was the final? They don't have the final up here. But I know Clinton won kind of handily yesterday. They pulled off in the second half. They were really good. They moved the ball well. They shot it well. They ran their stuff well. They got a full team. Got a full got contributions from the full team. Holmes County, they still got a few guys on the football team. Typical Holmes County, they you can tell they're talented, but they're still this group got to still figure out how they're gonna play, how they're gonna be most effective. They got a couple guys that really played well for them yesterday. Let me find my stuff. I'll tell you exactly who they were. The LaMarcus Crawford kid, he had a solid game for him.
Did he have any dunks?
I think he had one, but it wasn't big showman dunk.
Okay, because he's a high flyer.
Yeah, he's a high flyer. Marcus Crawford had a solid game for him, and the other kid from Holmes, the guard that played a lot last year. His name is, where is it? I think it's Jabarius Landfair. He had a solid game for him yesterday. Both of those had solid games, but nobody else really gave him a lot of scoring yesterday. And then they got down and they were trying to press, be aggressive to get back in, and it just, they still got a way to figure it out. They got a few boys on the football field. I still think they're gonna be pretty good as the season goes. I mean, it's two Holmes County. They never are really strong. They always gotta play their way into their best ball.
Well, I can tell you this. I saw Clinton play in the Jamboree over at Lanier, and Clinton is nothing to play with. Clinton's a team. Don't be surprised if they make it back to Jackson. Just don't be surprised.
I agree. They looked really good yesterday.
Coach Taylor does, I'm so happy for Coach Taylor. Here's a guy who, let's just be honest, people didn't necessarily want to be the head coach. He did his time, man. He was a junior high coach. Just a phenomenal individual. That's what I like about him. He has come to Clinton, came in behind Robert Green, and did something that was very tough, taking a team back-to-back, wins the state championship. And I'm telling you, he hasn't played hard. They play hard, they defend, they're athletic. They have some players, Kari, led by, Kamani's cousin, Kari Hamilton, and some other guys. They are sleepers who, if you're not careful, can be back in Jackson. And you know how it is. Once you get to Jackson in the big house, anything can happen. So it's not out of the realm, it's not probable, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could be looking at a three-peat. It's not, I don't know if it's probable, but I want to say it early. Because one thing they're going to do, they're going to play hard every game. That's something that's going to be their staple. So it's not going to be like they're going to come in and not play hard. They got kids that are hungry and a winning pedigree now. You can argue Clinton, because I've heard Talante kind of, Starkville has that winning pedigree. When you talk about teams, we always talk about Starkville. I think Clinton and Shoes, I know you've been here longer than me, and I know it goes through cycles. Would you say that Clinton is now, if they get back to the big house and become maybe being one of those teams like a Callaway in the past, like a Starkville, are they on that cutting edge of that, or am I tripping?
I wouldn't say so. I can see that. I definitely can agree with you. Back-to-back championships. This team is young. If they somehow make it to Jackson this year, they're gonna be in the conversation for preseason #1 next year. That team is young. I mean, they playing with a lot of juniors and a lot of juniors on this group. I mean, they got the red kid that was at St. Andrews that went to Meridian that came back, he's senior. But I mean, the rest of the team is a slew of juniors. So they, and they seem to have it going in the younger programs, the middle school and some of the hills. So it's I know they've got some good talent in some of those schools. So it's not out of the question that they could become someone that we mentioned in the realm of Starkville, Meridian, guys like that, the Biloxi guys like that.
Okay. Anybody? Who else played in that Holmes County deal?
The one other game I saw was Canton and Cleveland Central. Canton just kind of out athleticism, size athleticism. They just out talented them. It was an up and down game, a scrappy game. Wasn't a pretty game. The brothers, the Lewis brothers at Canton were really good. Both of them, DeAndre and what was the other name? DeMarcus. Both of them were really good. DeMarcus had a couple of highlights. When you ask who got a dunk, DeMarcus got a couple of nice dunks yesterday in traffic and stuff. And they just kind of, Cleveland Central played hard. they hung around. They wouldn't go away. What was the foul for that game? Let me tell you exactly what the foul for that game was. Let me tell you what that foul was. They didn't do that one. Oh, there it is. 56-45. So they only beat them by 11. So Cleveland Central wouldn't go away, but they, can just kind of out athlete, out talented them yesterday. They were a little bit bigger, shot the ball at times well, got out and pressured, got out on the break. Like I say, the game was a little helter-skelter. Both teams kind of scrambling a little bit, but Canton looks like a threat. They look like a team, especially as the season goes on. If their ball handling and guard play, if they become a little more cohesive and just poised, they could be a real threat in the 5A ranks.
Okay, Canton 5A potential.
I won't discount Cleveland Central either because, like I say, they do it. Their coach does a great job over there.
Bernard Berryhill.
Berryhill does a great job. His son was good for him yesterday. He made shots.
I was saying Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor. He made shots. It was kind of the catch-21 situation where he needed him to handle the ball, but he needed him off the ball to shoot it. So he had to kind of keep going back and forth between the two. But they played hard. They're not going to be easy out. They're going to get better as the season goes on. He's got a bunch of young guys also, a bunch of juniors also. So he's going to be, a lot of these teams are playing with a lot of underclassmen.
Okay. Man, it was a good day of basketball. It seemed like we had a good opening week. I know, Talante, you mentioned somebody, a young 2026 kid had 26 points. Talk to us about him. I saw you tweet about that.
Oh, yeah. JoJo Petty at Ingomar, he had 26 on their debut against, I think it was Rosa Fort. He should be pretty good, I think, in the 1A division where Ingomar is. They should be pretty good. He should average, with 26, I think he should at least average about 15, maybe about 15, 20, depending on how tough their region play is. But I think the best 1A team is probably Biggersville. Biggersville probably should repeat in the 1A. And they're from up north, too. So them and Ingomar probably should play at least about 2 or 3 times before then. So JoJo definitely should average around 15, 20 a game playing at Ingomar this season. Because he will be the man. I think they're giving him the keys to the car. So he should average around that game.
Couple things on the chat. We just jumped in. William Johnson, I think he plays at Clinton, said, don't be surprised about Clinton. He just letting you know, don't be surprised. I think he's one of the guards on Clinton. And then Kamani Ratliff.
6A deep, man. I don't know who's going to win 6A this year.
And Kamani Ratliff said that he likes the Vicksburg team even with the loss of Cam Brown. He said he likes them. I know they have a kid.
I don't bite my tongue. It may be addition by subtraction.
Okay.
The chemistry might be a little better.
And sometimes that happens, I love the kid. They have a kid, left-handed kid, who I think is one of the top 5 shooters in the state. A kid by the name of Malik Franklin. I mean, I put him, I know, you said Talante Aiden Johnson was the best, and he clearly is one of the best shooters. I think another kid, one of the best shooters that I saw was at your camp from Pontotoc, the coach's son. Oh, God, Tippler. Tippler can flat out fill it up. Malik Franklin belongs in that conversation. I mean, smooth lefty. I mean, that thing come off his hand really, really well. And so that Vicksburg, like you said, sometimes, you made a great point, Shoes, when guys, and we live and this is not, I want to make this clear. We're not talking about anybody in particular. We're talking about the scope, the change. What I'm getting ready to say is the scope and the change of this generation, the generation now. And now what we have is parents and kids, because it's not just kids. Parents, God put us, I have 5 children. I have 2 that's 16. I have 3 grown, 30, 31, 31, and 27. Well, obviously, I don't control them anymore, even though they're supposed to still honor me, because that's what the Lord tells them. Age doesn't go away, but I have 2, a 17-year-old and a 14 that I pay the bills for, and I control what goes on ultimately. And so what we're having now is we're having kids dictate too much where they play and who they play for, versus when we were playing shoes, there was no such thing. There was very little transfer because they didn't like the coach or they didn't like the situation they were in. Talk to us a little bit, because, that's happening and we see the transfer portal. And I know we've talked about it at the collegiate level, but even at the high school level, we see kids switching schools for whatever reason. Talk to, in your opinion, what's your thoughts on that? I know we've talked about it before.
Well, I've got a saying I always told my kids, I tell kids that I talk to, your job as a player, you gotta be the best player you can be in whatever system that coaches went running. If you figure out how to make plays, be the best player you can be in the system he's running, he's gonna give you some time. He's gonna put you on the floor. But what we have now is so many people, kids are praised so early, they are bookmarked, they're kind of bookmarked so early that they're gonna be this great kid or this and that. They're really good at an early age, and they feel like they fit in this box. Everybody wants to put their player, their kid. A lot of people want to put their kid. A lot of other people want to put kids in a box. Say this is what he is. And when you get up to these coaches are coaching to win. I tell people all the time, these coaches coaching to win. They're not coaching to highlight players. They're not. Some of them ain't even coaching to get them scholarships because they feel like if you play well, you'll get a scholarship. So, they're not going to do anything special to get you a scholarship or get you highlighted. You've got to figure out how to play in their system and be productive. But being realistic, that does not work for everyone. Sometimes, I always say in this world, it's 500 billion people in this world. Anybody who thinks everybody's supposed to see everything the same, they the one that's insane. Because it just ain't nobody. If it's 500 billion people, you cannot have everybody on the same page about any and everything. So, sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes, you got overkill, too many kids. And sometimes it's a good thing to move. Sometimes it's a good thing to move.
I agree.
Huh?
No, I agree with you. You're right. Sometimes it is good for both parties involved. As a coach,
I don't mean to any shade on Cam when I say addition subtraction. It just creates there was something working there. There wasn't working there. So he's in Port Gibson. We're gonna get his shine on. They got a little bit better chemistry, for what I understand. After talking to the committee, feels they got a little bit of chemistry. Sometimes it's just
it's probably gonna work out for both parties.
Yeah, I think.
But
I agree.
I think what go ahead, Cord. I think what
I just wanted to put in, especially for girls. I just want y'all to see what y'all insight is about it. You're a freshman. You're not getting no clock, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You're getting in about 5-10 minutes. That's pretty good minutes, though, to me, as a freshman. Why are people so quick to leave? Then you get money. Like, the college is paying you a stipend. Like, you'll go somewhere lower and not get that same stipend or not get the same education. Why are people so quick to leave, especially if you're not really predicted to go to no pro nowhere? Why are you so quick? Like, that's my whole thing. Why kids and parents be so quick to leave when really the end goes, the kid not gonna play pro. You know what I'm saying? Might be a productive college player. So what we running for? You got 3 more years to just be productive. What's the point of running?
Corey, they were talking about some high school guys.
I don't know. I'm sorry. My bad. I was switching to the car. My bad.
Well, no, it translates. It does what it does translate. The mindset translates into the college because that's where you have all this. But we're going to answer that, Corey. That's a good question. But I want to finish the Cam Brown deal. I agree with Shoes and Talante. Having seen Cam Brown play at Port Gibson this summer, I think it was a good move for both parties involved. And sometimes you do have those good moves where, it just become, as they say, irreconcilable differences maybe. And then you just move on to a better situation. But to your question, Corey, I think this is the challenge this generation has with parents and everything. It's a microwave society. It's a microwave parenting. It's microwave. We want it right now. We want everything today. I mean, we just want it now. I remember I was at Mississippi Valley State last year, and there was a girl I was really finna pull a miracle. I thought she was at a high major school, and she wanted to transfer. And the coach at the high major told her, "You're going to be the 15th man on a 15th man roster, and so you may want to look at something else." And I couldn't offer her anything at Valley but a scholarship, and we were going to take the Pell Grant. But she was getting $800 a month in a check, $800 a month, her stipend per se, plus her Pell Grant, plus everything else free. But she was getting $800 a month, and she chose not to come to Valley because it became a money issue. And she ended up playing sparingly, but it's about that check. $800 a month for a single, like for a kid.
Well, let's be real. She in the real world now. You gotta factor that check in.
Like Cora said, she ain't going pro. I mean, you got
what I'm saying.
Girls basketball, they get an education, so it doesn't matter anyway.
And some dudes got to realize that too. You got a chance to go pro? No. So yeah, just go ahead and just be that productive. I know I had tail end. Now high school is different. You trying to play into whatever you're trying to get into that spot. But once you make it to that peak of college, you got to kind of evaluate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm an NBA player.
Like this. How do you Texas Tech right now, women on the girls' side are giving all of their players $25,000 a year. How do you transfer from that and go to? You don't transfer from that and go to Texas, El Paso, and you may get say you may get 10,000. That's a $15,000 lick.
Just because you're gonna average 8 points a game, you might average 1 point a game, but you're getting 25,000 and you're getting a better living. I think parents gotta sit down and look at that too sometimes. Like, I know you want to play your pride and you want to hoop. Everybody done did it. I done did it. But as parents, we gotta kind of advise our kids, like, hey, listen, I don't think you're gonna go pro at this point. Prove me wrong, though. Prove me wrong. But at this point, you need to sit down for 3 years and just figure it out. You get, 25,000.
Hey, but Cord, that's the biggest thing I think that we missing about the question that Evie asked. Man, like, I got 5 kids, and can't none of my kids come and tell me or ask me that they can ask me about transferring school or going to play somewhere else or going to do something different. I just think that the standards as parents have we're getting back to the point to where who's running the household, the parents or the damn kids? You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about the question that Evie just asked. Like, it's too many kids, and I see it firsthand. Even
not Evie. Eddie. Part of the problem is too many.
Hey, hold on, Shu. With all due respect, hold on, Shu. With all due respect, I love you. I respect you as a veteran.
Go ahead.
I respect you as a veteran. Man, don't call me EV no more the rest of your life, man. Please don't do it.
I did it twice tonight. Hey, man, if you want to slap me the next time you see me, I understand.
Hey,
slap me the next time you see me, I understand.
Hey, look, Shoes. I'm gonna let Cameron. I'm gonna let your girl Cameron slap you upside the head when she sees you.
I'm gonna take it. I did that twice. I deserve it. But I was saying that it is part of our problem is we got too many parents that's fans of their kids.
Yeah, you said something.
Fans and they being realistic.
I think. Yeah, and then words to the wise too. Like, it's one thing to love your kid, support your kid, promote your kid, but if you're on Twitter every day or every other day, and everything is about your kid, I've talked to some college coaches who you just need that one glaring thing to kind of put a sense of doubt in some of these people's head. And sometimes I think you're right. We become our kids. That's a great point, Shoes. We could do a whole show on that topic right there. I mean, you become your kids' biggest fans, and in the midst of that, you begin to live through your kids. I mean, hell, if you got 3 highlight videos of your child every 3-4 days, I mean, what is that saying about you as a parent? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like every day, every time you look up, you got highlight videos or tweeting this, or she made this pass, or he made this dunk, or you know, I mean, that's an obsession. You know what I mean? And that's a turnoff. Now, I'm not saying to us, we don't care, but I'm saying to a college coach, that could be.
There was I saw a tweet, a video on Twitter the other day where they were talking to what's the coach in Notre Dame, and he was talking about how they evaluate parents as much as they evaluate kids when they're recruiting. They say they're evaluating the parent. They're looking at the parents act, how the parents approach things. He said he's had some parents that he didn't think they were gonna fit, so they didn't recruit their kids. He said that they I can't think of his name. He ain't basketball coach at Notre Dame. Mike Bray. He was doing a video the other day, and he was saying there was a video out the other day, and he was talking about it was a nice link video. He was talking about how they evaluate the parents as much the parents' actions and activities as much as they evaluate the kids.
I ain't gonna let y'all sit on here and do. You know these parents gonna post the videos of their kids and everything. Do you know I can look on the news and somebody's kid got locked up, and this is the 4th, 6th time breaking into somebody's house. 6th time he been honor student all through high school. I mean, parents just gonna take them for their kids. They can be the worst kids in the world. They're gonna take them for their kids.
CJ, go ahead and I know you wanted to say something, CJ. We wanted to go ahead and jump in on this topic.
Yeah, and I know I love what Eddie said is, you know, who's actually doing the parenting. And I think we come from more of an old school background where a village was raising kids. And now when I look at it, we don't look at the bigger picture. You telling them it's okay to transfer, it's okay to leave after one incident, or a coach makes you upset or something like that. But just think about the bigger picture, because when you get in the real world and your boss pisses you off, guess what you do? You continue to do your job and continue to collect that check. But you'll find kids now, they just gonna run more, and they're gonna be looking for their parents to pretty much kind of raise them while they're grown, because they're allowing this issue of, hey, I'm not treated well, and we're saying, well, hey, this is my child, you not treating my child fair, we're just gonna transfer. In reality, we're not teaching our kids to work for something, to gain something out of this thing. And I think that's the difference, is we're not willing to allow them to have to work hard to get somewhere. It's just not given to you. And I think we headed into a dangerous time with the transfer portal, where if you piss me off, I just leave, I just move on, as opposed to, hey, you sit there and you work your way up, and you actually value it more, and it means a lot more to you.
I agree with you, brother, man. That was well put. You know, it's just like in the league that I run, Shoes officiates a lot of the games, and we'll start the season, and it'd be standing room only. I mean, people falling out the bleachers. It's 20 people on each team, 15, 20 kids, and about 4 games into this, and this is 7 and 8, 9-year-olds who I see tell the parents, I don't want to play no more. They leaving out the gym because, something didn't go that, they had a bad day or something didn't go their way, and now they don't want to play. When we grew up in a time where if you started something, by golly, you go finish. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so it's just unfortunate that, like, I think the biggest thing that we missed in what boy EV was saying and where he was going is that we are a generation of allowing kids to dictate the narrative of what they do, when they do, and how they want to do it. You know what I mean? I mean, these kids, a bad day for a lot of these kids is, and we're gonna get back on topic, is not having the internet, but the internet Wi-Fi too slow. And they piss because not the fact that they don't have the internet, but the Wi-Fi is slow. That's a bad day for these
That's
kids.
right. That's a bad, yeah. And the thing is, it's already the Wi-Fi is really going at a pretty decent speed, but it just gotta be faster. It's got to be faster. And just to pay a little bit more, Xfinity, they had the nerve enough to hit, speaking of that, they had nerve enough to hit me on in an email saying, oh, your Wi-Fi just got faster. I can't tell. Like,
or they hit you got unlimited, but they hit you with the You got unlimited, but they tell you you don't went over your unlimited. How you go over your unlimited?
Yeah, how you do that?
Yeah, when you get to so many bites and slow down.
So you're right. It's here's what we got to do. We got to quit quitting. That's what we got to do. Quit quitting. We quit so quickly of everything. Something doesn't go your way. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna quit, or I'm gonna change. I'm gonna do this. Now, at the end of the day, like CJ said, and I will say this that CJ said, when you can, when you get a job, and that's why I say team sports is the greatest parallel to life. You can, when you get a job, quit your job. Now, the key is, as an adult, that we all are right now, run households. If we quit, we better have another job lined up, and it better be equivalent. But the other thing too is what we're, sometimes we quit thinking that we have a better paying job, and we have, and how many times you heard people say, boy, I wish I would have stayed over here because of this, that, and the other. As they say, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. It's green, but it's not all greener. It's not better than where you came from. Sometimes you just gotta, and here's what people don't want to do. Just wait your turn. Your turn's coming. It's coming. You just gotta be patient. And that's what we're dealing with. And here's the other thing they can't say. There's no accountability. I'll use me for example. If somebody says, EV, you are fat, you are obese, that is a hard truth that I got to look at.
Ugly.
That's a tough thing.
And ugly. Don't leave that part out. Ugly.
Right. And that's a matter of opinion. But yes, but at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is I am fat. I am overweight. So now, does it hurt? Yes. But I can't be mad at CJ because he said that to me. I can't be mad at him. I got to be able to take that, and then I got to figure out either I'm going to stay fat or I'm going to work on it or work on it. What we try to do is we just say, oh man, CJ man, bump that dude. He don't like me and this, that, and the other. No, he just told you a hard, cold fact to try to help you get to the next level. And you got to be.
Another thing too, parents don't be realistic. Most parents is working blue collar parents. Now, most of these jobs, seniority is how you go up. It's seniority. So if you ain't got seniority, you gotta wait your turn. So they don't even tell their kids to wait their turn.
That's right.
That's good, I know this is a basketball show, man, but this is important. And I'm passionate about the fact that you could have a coach like Deion Sanders, who's arguably one of the greatest football players to ever play the game, and a kid who plays the sport of someone who's helped the conference and done other things, regardless of how you like the way he move or what he do, for kids to curse this man out. And I don't know if y'all saw the video that Southern people had where the people were like, I had a kid to tell me in the gym this summer, man, go outside and I'll slap you. Like, I just don't remember adult kids like us talking to adults, and the lack of disrespect that you see now with kids that look at us like they're our friends, or you know what I mean? Like we're in the same.
I put them in place like all the time. Hey man, you sit down. You're a kid. Stay in a kid place.
But here's the sad thing, Shoes and Eddie. Here's the sad thing. What's sadder than that? Because the sad thing is, if you were to go tell that parent that, some parents would ask you, well, what did you do to him? What do you mean, what did I do to him? It doesn't matter what man, I'm grown. I did, your kid just disrespected me. What do you mean asking me, what did I do? I'm the adult. It should be, man, my kid, they should be, back in the day, see, stuff like that, Eddie, you can't even imagine. We can't even comprehend because that didn't happen in our day. But if it did, somebody would have done something like that, the parent would have stole on them right in front of the guy in person. nobody does anything, they would have got like multiple whoopings by everybody in the place potentially. Like that stuff don't happen like that.
But let's address what y'all deal with. I mean, what we deal with on the show. EV can say 100 good things about a kid, man. The kid number one, big time, high major. Then they need to work on their left hand. Oh, you the worst person in the world, EV, when you say that. One little thing like that.
You don't like constructive criticism, for like they don't hear anything that Shoes or Talante or nobody say. We're trained to hear only the bad stuff, and we focus in on that. Shoes can say like Shoes. I mean, I've been knowing Shoes for years. Shoes cut straight down the middle. Like you can like them, don't like them. Hell, he just go speak his damn mind. But it's constructive criticism that when we grew up, hell, you got a badass attitude. Now take that and you go either listen and receive that, or you go continue to have a bad attitude. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and so it's just like we talk around our kids too much. We have people who dislike other adults because they're talking around their kids and listening to all of this other stuff instead of holding these kids accountable. Just like Evie said, the first thing we want to know is, well, what did you do to him? Or what could Coach Prime have done to them people at Southern? If y'all ain't seen that video, I ain't never seen anything like that before.
That's
for them kids. I mean, it's crazy, man.
Who was the team that played them before? Who was the team that played them?
Oh, and Alabama State. Yeah,
Alabama State started it because monkey see, monkey do. They started it, now they just took. It went to another level probably. So, and they just disrespectful. One person think they can do it. Next, it just need to be shut down. They need to be addressed.
And I think that's the problem. I'm sorry, EV.
Oh, go ahead, CJ. Go ahead.
I think that's the problem. We bring in we act like we forget. Like when you got a referee that's an adult, we start having kids talking disrespectful to them because it's the game of basketball. That does not negate that this is a grown person that you're talking to. Forget about the game. Like we lose sight of those things, and we can't. Just like with the issue of the way they talk to Deion Sanders, that's disrespectful. He's still a grown man. That's still somebody you should respect. And I think sometimes we lose sight of that, and we get to the point, just like y'all were talking about with the scouting, and somebody say something bad. I need to know what's wrong with me so that I can either be number one and get to the top, or I can stay at the top. But if all you telling me is good things, then I don't think there's anything to work on. I go do what I do, and I never continue to get better. The people that are really looking out for you a lot of times ain't your parents that's patting you on the back telling you you're doing a great job. It's the scout or it's the coach that's telling you, hey, you need to work on this, you need to work on that. Because on my job daily, I'm over people and I'm like, hey, you're doing a good job, but we could be better here. We always want to maximize and become better. I think our mentality is not where it needs to be. We are not building tough-minded people as it was in the past with our parents. Yeah, you got straight A's. You don't get $20 for getting straight A's. You did what you were supposed to do. You don't get a reward for that. And we're giving rewards for that. We're giving rewards for progress. Like, if you ain't at the top, you don't get a reward. There's no participation trophy. I got a 5-year-old, and that's what we teach. She scored 3 goals in soccer when we were in Flowood at 3. And then her teammate scored the next one. She ran over crying. I said, no, ma'am, you get back on the floor. You get back on that field, and you go and you celebrate the people around you, because that's not what we're building. Somebody to not have the mindset of, hey, cheer on your teammates. Hey, understand that everything is not about you. That's what you got. That's where we're failing, I think, as a whole with our young kids is, we got to take the responsibility. Not get off my soapbox and stop rambling, but we have to take the responsibility, which is what I try to do with my kids, with my girls that I coach, to let them know, hey, I'm going to be as negative as possible so that I can make you a better player, and it makes school ball that much easier for you.
That's a great point, CJ. I think that's solid advice. Go ahead, Shoes. You were saying something. You wanted to add something to that?
I don't know now. It's been a while.
But no, that's good stuff, CJ. And here on the show, we definitely want to be as positive as we can, because our kids are our future, and we all are in this. Like, it really does take a village to raise a child. It needs to be the right village. We need to be it just doesn't need to be just a village. It needs to be the right village, because there's some people in the village that's running amok, that's doing some crazy stuff. So we don't need those, but we need to, we need to, like, sometimes you got to ask yourself, what are you doing? What are we doing? What are we fighting about? What are we arguing about? And that's the thing. I know everybody's not going to agree, Shoes. One of the things that, how I am about unity and trying to work together, and everybody's not going to. The challenge, though, becomes when we all have, when we look at, this is where my challenge comes in. And to be honest with you, this is not necessarily a Black show per se. Obviously, it's mainly Black people on it, but I will say this with our culture and our community, our challenge is when we all say we have the same mission, we want to get to the same place. And I know it's like, and what we have the challenge is, like, we're trying to get to the same place, same mission, but yet and still we find something, some way not to work together and still make this thing hard and for everybody that's involved. And to me, it ends up hurting our kids collectively. That's kind of and I guess I'll always have a challenge with that. I have it in the church. We have all these churches on every block in every city that we go to, and then you have all the violence and crime, but you got a church on every block, just like you have a liquor store almost on every block in our city. I mean, and so it just goes over into our culture, and it just, everything that we're talking about, it stems into that. It stems into sports. It's a parallel. That's what it is. It's not, and it's damaging to our culture, and it's damaging to our kids ultimately. And so, as we get ready to wrap it up, man, we've been going. Let's go ahead and get our. If anybody didn't have anything else they want to add, let's get our geek of the last geek. Go ahead, Shoes.
I'm gonna. We were talking about games yesterday. There are a few other interesting games that were played down at Jones Community College, Jones Junior College. Provine and Hattiesburg played. Provine won that game by 6. That was a real interesting game. I wasn't there, but I think the outcome and the closings of the game is a game that definitely is, is noteworthy. Following them, Brandon beat Harrison Central pretty handily. And Marcel Bridges had a really good game, if I recall right. So they, both of them, those 2 games there, and down on the coast. I know Gulfport had a classic yesterday, and they played, and I got to talk about Gulfport. They are looking like a juggernaut.
Now, I was going to ask about that, Shoes. That's what I heard. If Gabe is on Gabe.
They've been the beneficiary of a number of transfers. We were on the transfer talk earlier. They've been the beneficiary of a number of transfers.
They got three transfers in this year. One being Nick Crass's younger brother from St. Patrick. You got Amir Mahmoud Abdul Rauf's son. And they just got a new kid from out of state. I don't even know his name.
He came from Georgia. He's about 6'7". He's 6'7". They got another kid with some size. They got it all. They got size. They got guard.
I watched them play.
Huh?
I watched them play against D'Iberville this past week, and man, they loaded, man.
They loaded.
How good? What level of a team is D'Iberville? You'll say though, are they a top level team, or are they just a team?
They're not a top level team, but they do. Coach Sykes over there does a really good job of making those guys play extremely hard. I mean, he's an upsetter.
Let me ask you this. So when they play Biloxi, are they gonna sweep Biloxi?
I'm really interested in seeing that because it's such a contrast. Biloxi is not a big team. They're a team of mostly guards and some smaller forwards. Gulfport is big. They got the 2 twins and the big kid that came in along with the guards. They got size on Biloxi, but Biloxi Steve does a great job. Biloxi's not going to be afraid of them. They weren't afraid of them last year. The twins. Biloxi in their mind, I'm sure they feel like they still can beat, supposed to beat them and the team to beat. So, I mean, I'm just interested in really seeing how that how that plays out.
I can say, I can say, I mean, at the end of the day, the players are playing, but I think that is going to be a game for the coaches. Coach C, like you said, Coach C does a great job with Biloxi, man. And Miller is, a freaking rocket scientist when it comes to the game too. And I think it's going to be a matter of how those coaches put it together. Two different teams for sure, but both very talented, so I'm interested to see how that's going to play out as well.
I'm not ready to say Gulfport the best team in the state yet, but boy, you gotta think that they could be.
Hey, for me, they gotta beat a horse first. They gotta beat some big dogs.
Like I said, we gotta see how they play out, but they got everything. They got everything. It's a matter of
I got they're one of them, and I haven't seen them play, but just watching some highlights, I look at them as a dark horse. I don't know if they're a dark horse. I don't even know if I would call them a dark horse. I think right now I would put them, and I wish we had Kevin Cole on. He would, our resident Gulf Coast boys guy. I would have to peg Gulfport as a team to beat on the coast and have a very good chance to make it to Jackson and hoist the gold ball. They are a team.
The Coast 6A lineup is, it's solid. I mean, you got Gulfport and Biloxi, but Pascagoula, Ocean Springs are going to be good again this year. Harrison Central lost to Brandon yesterday, but they're not going to be a bad team. We just talked about the Iberville. Their coaches always going to have them competing at a high level. I don't think they'll be great this year, but the teams on the coast it's quite a bit of talent down there this year.
Hey, Gabe, I got to put you on the spot.
Even without Matt Press, St. Patrick's still one of the favorites in 3A.
Look, Gabe, I got to put you on the spot.
One of the favorites.
Got to put you on the spot, though, Gabe. Who's the best team on the coast?
I haven't seen Biloxi play yet, so I ain't gonna count them out. I've seen Gulfport play. They are very talented, man, but I don't want to just up and give it to them before I see Biloxi.
I got you. That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I just went on and did it without seeing either one of them. I just feel Gulfport. I go on feeling sometimes. I will say this.
Biloxi looked like a well-oiled machine this summer when I was down there Memorial Day. Biloxi ain't nothing to play with neither.
You can't count out Durant Parrish and James Turner. You can't.
So for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go with them two. I got to give it to them because, to me, guard play do-rule basketball, and those two they're the best two guards.
Can't count them out, man.
Yeah.
I forgot about James is back down there.
Biloxi got two transfers. Got James, and then the kid from Harrison Central transferred. The kid that was at Harrison Central transferred over there.
Reginald Connor.
This kid got a lot of starting experience at Harrison Central. He transferred over there. So they've had a.
You talking about the point guard, Reginald Connor?
Huh?
The point guard?
The point guard, man, Central?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at Biloxi. Yeah. And then they got another kid who came in from Australia about 6'4", 6'5" that can play. So they had an influx of transfers also.
Let me be quiet then.
Hey,
I ain't gonna give it.
Anybody got the date? Anybody got the date on that game? I might have to come to the coast and see that.
I don't, but I can get it to you.
I might have to drive down there to see that.
I will say this also on another note, Murrah opened up Raymond's new facility and popped them by 19. And Corterius Scott had 34 before he hurt his ankle with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And they said reports were it was not even close. He was the best player in the gym. Now, also, EJ Payman didn't play in that game, which was a big deal. But it's big to go on Raymond's, like anywhere, go to Raymond and their new facility to win. Big win for my boy JJ Washington, who lost a lot at Murrah, to be honest with you. It's not like
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't see that one either. JJ does a good job.
I'm gonna give him some more bulletin board material. They can throw a couple more darts in my picture, EV. I didn't see that coming. I didn't think they'd be very good this year.
Yeah. And so to go over and beat Raymond first game, with all the electricity, new gym, Tony Tadlock.
He had a boot on today when he came over to the press conference we had a press conference today for the event, Mark's event, the jump that he's gonna have on the 12th. So we had a press conference today at Madison Central. So a bunch of coaches came up. Nobley and a couple of his players from Ocean Springs, Pascagoula coach and his players, and Carlisle, and a bunch of everybody came, but pretty much everybody was there but DC, but Florence. And he was walking around with a boot on today. He had a boot on his foot today.
Who was that?
Kadarius Scott. He had a boot on his foot today.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He pushed his ankle yesterday, so he had a boot on it today.
Yeah. So that's going to be that. If he's not, like, if he doesn't get back, well, sometimes boot is protective, obviously.
Yeah, sometimes it's protective. It might be protective.
But if he doesn't come back, then Murrow definitely is going to be in trouble. But he gives them a chance. I think he's probably arguably one of the most underrated, undervalued kids in the state. I think he's a D1 talent, if not coming straight out of high school, but after 2 years of JUCO. And sometimes, man, to be honest with you, you need to come on out sometimes after high school, because you could slip and go JUCO and kind of get lost. I've seen that happen by several people. I tell you a kid that just reminds me of Jalen Rice, who came out of Madison Central. Super athlete. And I remember Jackson State was kind of toying with him. And now he's a really talented player, and just jump out the gym. I mean, I think he's a borderline division. I think he's a D1, no question D1 athlete. But sometimes you get caught up in the shuffle. Sometimes, and this transfer portal and all that stuff has just changed the whole narrative game. So we had a really good opening week this week. Talante's deal at New Hope is going to be really good. Have pretty much all of the top teams this week, and then the following week, Mark Rose, the jump deal at Madison Central. And I don't know what girl games, any big girl games this week on the Coach Gave.
No big ones. Nothing big. I know Gulfport, Gulfport will be in Meridian Tuesday.
Yeah, you do know that Meridian popped Northwest ranking Thursday night now, over there in Meridian.
I think that'll be a good one.
15.
Hey, you can't win at Meridian, man. I'm not surprised. They be there.
It's hard to win in Meridian.
Yeah.
Gulfport go over there this week. It's going to be interesting to see. Gulfport, the boys go over there also. So it's going to be interesting if the boys can get a win over there. So Delonte, you say you want to speak and they beat somebody, here's your chance. Here's the first test for them.
Yeah, because if they can go over and beat what's our guy name at Meridian?
Ron Norman.
Legend. The legend. I don't know if I can get him a legend, because legend, but he's right there. He's the veteran. He's no question a veteran. He really does a good job coaching. He has those guys playing hard every game, and so Northwest ranking, I think, is a top 10, top 15 team.
They still got Brendan Brown, and they're starting center on the football field. So 2 starters on the football field. So I'm not making excuses, but they went over there and got popped. But Meridian is a place you don't go half cocked. You ain't getting out of there half cocked.
Yeah, that makes a difference. Brendan Brown, I was gonna say I watched them the other day and I didn't see him in their center, so that makes a big difference. I do want to say about a kid from Raymond who's well, I'm not gonna say his name, but because Raymond has a kid over there that's pretty good too, in Larry Little. I wasn't gonna say his name, but because he's pretty good. And
give him credit. Let the folks know who you're talking about, EV.
Yeah, me and I can't say publicly right now why I didn't want to say his name, but but yeah, he's really good. Cord, who's up north? Any good girl games coming up here?
I'll be my first game out. I'll be covering Horn Lake and Center Hill game. Gonna be I think Horn Lake first. They're gonna be their first game of the season, and I'm just excited to see that their backcourt they got with them 2 phenomenal players, and Francisca Kelly and India Bourne. And I'm willing to see what Center Hill, how they bounce back in a big game like that. There's a lot of teams that's going to be off and around this area, so it's going to be a packed gym. A lot of teams just coming out, just to see how that matchup looks. So
What day is that, Corey?
it's on Friday, November 4th.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a big one. Indy born D1, you know, got several D1 offers. She'll definitely sign D1 in the next couple of weeks. Francesca Kelly has a Mississippi State offer, and Madison Hughes playing for Center Hill has a Division I offer as well, along with they have Madison Bush and Dominique. Is it Dominique Collins?
Dominique Collins. So you got several good players playing in that game. I think it's gonna be a better matchup for Center Hill, even though I'm giving Horn Lake the big edge. But I think it's gonna be a better matchup. I think they're gonna come out and play harder with the cross county rival. It's gonna be a packed gym. A lot of teams don't play on that day because folks football teams still playing, so you're playing on that Thursday. So it's gonna be a really good game, packed out. It's gonna be a really good boys game too. Horn Lake and Center Hill. I think they match up pretty evenly. With the twins on the Horn Lake on the boys side, and you got Danny Fords over there coaching with Center Hill now. It's my guy. We played high school basketball together. He got a really good kid last name Rankin. He's a 2024 kid. He has a twin that plays on Center Hill. He's really, really good. Last name Rankin. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but y'all probably done seen him or heard. Talante probably done seen him a couple times. He's really good. They beat somebody at Tupelo by a buzzer shot. Was it Boonville?
They beat Boonville yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, so there's gonna be a really good game. Both sides.
Yeah. Everybody's saying Horn Lake's supposed to be the dark horse in 6A.
They get them twins is really good, man. They tall. They like
they got
6'3".
my boy Chico over there, the new coach.
New coach. Yeah.
You know they're gonna be pressing and running. They're gonna be playing hard. I haven't ever. Chico was at is it Chico Potts?
Yeah, Chico Potts.
He was at Gentry last year, and I'm telling you, if he didn't have them kids playing hard, they play hard.
And Horn Lake got probably better basketball players, so he gonna do a good job. I ain't saying they got better basketball skill like players, you know what I'm saying? So he gonna do a good job there.
Good. Well, man, it's been 2 hours. Let's go ahead and get our last geeks of the night up. I got a little exciting news at the end to share, and then we can go from there. Is CJ still with us, or he can start us off if he's still with us? If not,
Stephen A. Smith still in the building.
The last geek of the night is 30, 45 seconds. CJ, whatever you want to say, go at it, my friend.
Oh man, just thank you guys for this opportunity. Just, it's definitely an honor and privilege to be on with such great guys. Kind of leading the way for this hoops in the SIP. And my biggest thing is for anybody that's, listening to, especially players, hey, make sure that you fall in love with the process. That's the biggest thing that I would say to you. Hey, always look at the behaviors. Make sure your behaviors are right, and the results will be what you want them to be.
That's awesome. Thank you. All right, let's go with you, Gabe.
I just want to pretty much say to the athletes, to the parents, make sure y'all find time to prioritize. I had a few coaches lately asking, about grades, which, most kids kind of overlook that no matter how good you are. Make sure you're handling your business in the classrooms, prioritizing your schedules throughout the week. And most of my players know the game don't start the day of. You got to be preparing, in advance for, that big time moment, So, wishing all well with, all athletes throughout the state.
Corey.
Yeah, I would just like to say, man, I'm excited to get out and watch basketball this week for the first time. Kids just do whatever it takes for your team to win. Sometimes, I know we glorify solo accolades, but man, it's nothing like having them wins next to your belt and able to look back and have a good high school career, especially for you seniors that kind of already done it on the solo side. Man, go out there and play hard. Let's make it a competitive season, man. I think it's going to be competitive on the boys and girls side. I'm happy to see it, man. I'm excited.
Oh, it's me now. Well, for me, man, basketball season is finally here. I'm excited. Everybody on the panel, we pretty much excited. It's go time. Make sure you're enjoying the moment. Make sure, like they was just talking about, preparation is key. So make sure you're prepared, and just go out there and have fun, man. I think sometimes we get caught in the tweets. You know what I'm saying? You want to make the paper. You want to be a dandy dozen, but just go out there and just enjoy it, man. Remember why you started playing. It's a fun game. So go out there, have fun, and just live in the moment. And good luck. Oh, and don't let me forget, everybody be at the Tip-Off Classic this weekend at New Hope High School at 2 o'clock. We're going to start. We're going to have a good time.
Easy one. Are you still with us?
I'm here, brother. Hey, I'm hanging by a thread, but I'm here. Hey, Talante, hey, best of wishes to your event this weekend, brother. I hope it go out without a hitch, man. Good luck on this.
Appreciate you.
Hey, I just want to say this, man. Core just went off. I hope he come back on because them boys know they look good with that Mississippi All-In background, man. I just want to say, Gabe and Core, my brothers, man, I really appreciate what EV has done. We talk about unifying the state and just beyond basketball. I mean, I talk to these guys 5-6 times a day. I mean, we text and talk and call and text and talking. And sometimes it goes beyond just basketball. We're just talking about life and how we can help each other. Basketball is the bridge that, like Evie said, the parallel that brings us all together. But the one thing that I like is that our relationship has grown. Myself and Core relationship has gotten really, really strong, as well as Gabe. And so, man, these are brothers that I really respect, as well as everybody that's on this panel, Shoes and Talante. And, of course, having Coach French, man, has done a tremendous job speaking well and representing himself and everything that he's about, man. He's a stand-up guy, so we're glad to have him on tonight. Want to give a shout-out to a couple of ladies before we pass it to the ugliest dude on the panel. 3 girls, Madison Odell, Layla Carter, and Kalal Stovall all have something in common this week, and that's 34 points. All 3 of those girls lit it up. I think Miss Kalal Stovall at Forest Hill over at Lanier, I think they were playing Wilson County. I think she got 34 points, I believe, in 3 quarters. She didn't even play in the 4th quarter. Madison Odell, 34-point game. Everybody saw that, Gabe pub that, and we all know what she's gonna do this season. But then also 34-point game for Layla Carter as well, the dandy does. And so shout out to those girls. Also, too, we talked about Miss, which I believe is the number 1 ranked 2028 player in the state of Mississippi, and Carly Robinson. But just watching her blossom the past couple of years is one thing to be said about a kid that starts in 1A, 2A, or private school. But it's another thing that this baby is something special, man, to be able to hold her own. And like Shoes say, obviously being at the game, she belongs. So I did want to shout out her. She's no doubt, in my opinion, the best player in that class. But then also, too, one that I'm excited to coach next year. I know Gabe is being modest just because he didn't mention because it's his sister. But shout out to Miss Sydney Barber, who went for 18 points for West Harrison, another freshman who's playing high-level varsity basketball. It's one thing, and nothing against these girls that are playing middle school and 9th grade basketball. It's nothing against that. But when you're doing it on a varsity level, that's a whole nother thing. And so she just had a tremendous outbreak. And, man, I'm excited about the opportunity to coach her next year. But just shout out to everybody in the state. I think it's going to be a great season. I'm looking forward to it, man. And Mississippi All-In, that's what it's about. NBA Bobcats, Mississippi Play Sports, everything that I'm about. That's my passion. I love it. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all at the gym, gym near you pretty soon.
Shoes.
All right. Well, guys, first of all, I just want to say, man, I'm happy for the season to be here. I love this game. I can't get enough of it. I'm all over this state trying to watch the ball, man. Early season here, I got a bunch of classics. Delonte, bad news. I won't be able to make it next week. I got to work Saturday. I'll be out of town Tuesday through Friday, and I got to work Saturday and Monday with MHSA. But I'll definitely be keeping an eye on your event. The week after that, I want to plug the Jump in Madison Central, November 12th. That's a Margrove sponsor. Margrove is sponsoring the event out there. We got a number of high-level teams going to be out there. Pascagoula, Ocean Springs off the coast, Provine, Yazoo City. Just got a really good lineup out there. So we want to get a good group, some good participation, good spectators for that also. Got a lot of teams. These early season classics are what gives me a good jump on evaluating teams and players. I mean, I get to see a lot of players at one time, just like yesterday. I saw all three teams, all three games play, man. I'm just excited for the season to be here, ready to get my grind on. Go ahead, Evie.
That's awesome, man. I thank all of you brothers, man. Just again, CJ, thank you for our special guest tonight. Thank you for coming on, gave us great insight. We definitely look forward to having you back. Anytime you're welcome, anytime. Thank you, all of you guys. You guys are like brothers to me, and we're gonna make sure that and to the people out there, the fans out there, we're gonna make sure that we are more consistent and get a set time. We are gonna break this thing up where the boys will have their own show and it'll be led by Talante, Shoes and Snacks, who didn't come on, and myself. And then the girls will be Gabe and Cordarius and Eddie and myself. We're looking forward to that and how this show is going to grow, and just do better. Please feel free to shoot us suggestions. I want to give a shout out to Rochester College on a personal note. I was inducted to their Hall of Fame as a player on yesterday, and that was a blessing. Shout out to Garth Pleasant, my former coach, and all the Pleasant family, Dr. Clint Pleasant, who's now the coach today. At this,
EB, what you participate in? The hot dog eating contest?
I did participate in that too, but 200 pounds ago, I was a pretty good basketball player. And so and they said that's why they gave me that honor. And also shout out to my guy Dwayne Tubbs, my backcourt mate, and William Sales, who also went in on yesterday. Also want to let you guys know the Geeker rankings will be coming out this week on the girls' side. Shout out to Eddie Young, who has been doing that for the years, Mississippi Play Sports. And I want to say, for those of you, there are going to be a lot of critiques. A lot of people are going to be saying this, that, and the other about this person, that person. Shout out to Shoes, who's done it on the boys' side. But on the girls' side, and the boys and Shoes and Eddie both have done phenomenal jobs, even though I rib Eddie all the time and his biasness and all the stuff I disagree with. It's all in fun. But for those of you who are going to critique, it's cool. But I dare you to try it. That's all I can say. I have way more respect now for Eddie and Shoes because my 2023 class, I'm going to rank 90 young ladies. That's why it's taking me so long, in that class. I have 90 young ladies. I've seen at least 80% of them with my own eyes, probably 80 to 90%. And then I have the help of these men here, right here, along with some high school coaches and some college coaches that I've reached out to talk about some of the ladies. Here's what I want to say about the rankings. We have 500, and I found this out, and I'll be doing a writing about this. We have 538 schools, high schools in the state of Mississippi, 530, I mean. So it's 530 high schools, 448 public schools, 82 private. So I want you parents and everybody to understand this. Let's say only 500 teams have girls basketball teams. Let's just say 500. Let's say 40 high schools, 38 high schools, 30 high schools don't have a girls program. That means on every team, when I rank in this 2023, for example, every team has an average, we can safely say an average of 3 seniors per team. Will we all agree with that? Probably 3 seniors on a team, maybe 2. So that means out of 500 schools, 3 seniors times 500. That means this top 90 is getting ready to be ranked out of 1,500 seniors in the state of Mississippi. So I want you to get that. And so on down the list, when we rank you in the 2025, 2024, you are being ranked among your peers of about 1,500. Low end, let's say I'm off of at least 1,000 players in the state of Mississippi per class. And so when you are ranked 90th, don't get upset and say, man, he ranked me 90th. Well, you're 90th out of a 1,500. So that means you're in the top 15% of the players in your class. And so a lot of times we've given Shoes and Eddie grief about that. And you really should be sending them guys flowers or apologies and different things, because it's our opinion at the end of the day, and we've done this for a long time. So I'm excited about it. I'm ready for the flag. I'm built for it. So I'm cool with it, but I just thought I would let you know before you do that. So for Talante Weber, Shoes, Quadaris Jones, CJ French, Gabe Barber, Eddie Young, I'm Coach Evie, aka Evie the Geeker, saying good night and have a great rest of your evening.